Hello, my name is Dr. Speaker Blower. In this video, we are going to see how I did this track. I'm starting with this first idea, sketch, if you like, and this takes me to the first point, that is stick to an idea. Don't be amazed with the millions of possibilities that you have to process sound. You have to stick to an idea and create limits from the beginning. Otherwise, you will end nowhere. So that's the first point. Let's hear this for a start. Okay, so this is a relaxed track. I don't want to be too complicated on the start, so this takes me to second rule I follow. That is, don't delete stuff. I mute stuff instead of deleting it because I want to try possibilities, and it's much easier to unmute than to repeat all stuff I have done here before. This can be different from this, and if I delete this, I cannot go back tomorrow. In the end, if you want to be clean, when you finish the track, you can delete everything that is muted, but not from the beginning. I have several synthesizers here playing this. Okay, so I have here this SB2 synthesizer that has a lot of CPU consumption, so I need to reduce that. It is a powerful machine, but it is a hungry machine too. Is a monster. So first thing I do is, as I told you, first stay to a concept, and I'm going to render this to audio, and that will give me two possibilities afterwards. Is I can create variations in the patch and render them again and have alternatives to work with later, or I can simply process that audio file. What I do is very basic. If I want to export this area here, and I assume that they are all the same, and they are, it's basically something like this. It's following the bass. If I want to export this, I will export always 3 of them. So I mute this one, and I will export those. Why? Because if there are any delay or reverb effects, this one, when it finishes, will imprint that reverb tail or delay tail to this one. So this one will loop perfectly with effects. This one won't, because when it restarts, there is no delay for the first note or what comes behind. In this case, it doesn't, but here. If you loop it here, when it goes to the end, then there's no delay. This one will have the final tail. So if I want to use it that's in the song later, I have that also in audio. So it's here, SB2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create some variations on the same sound. So I have the SB3 and the SB2 only playing, and let's try something. So it was on. This was it, what it was. Okay, better. Okay, let's stay like this. So now we have this is the same notes, but the sound is different from that one. So I'm going to export it again, and then we can play. I forgot to mention that if you have this in 3 parts, I can simply now place this in the end, and this will loop perfectly. So I have the same sound I have here before, but now I can change by the new version or make a very long crossfade, and by having these other sections instead of only one, I can do that. It's here, and now I can delete the instrument. So first what I recommend is to save your settings and always keep track of that so you can use them in future tracks. Okay, so SB2, but now I have here the same sound with variations. I'm going to show you basic stuff that you could do. I'm going to replace that one by this one, and now we have here this small variation. Basically get a very big crossfade, then a small one. So what we get is this. So basic tricks, but they always work. So it's a question of working. I always prefer to work in audio because apart from seeing the waveform, I can always do things that I cannot do in MIDI. There are things that work in MIDI and we can do there, but the basic stuff I do always work better in audio. Apart from that, I always have the files, so if something goes wrong, I have already the files. I don't need to create again the same patch, or I don't know, something like that. Okay, so you got the trick. Let's delete this for now, or not. Let's keep it muted, and let's go and work in the bass. Okay, so we have the SP3 fat synthesizer. So the filter has this long attack that basically sets this as only the long notes, or the ones that are mixed here, only those are being affected by the LFO. Okay, so the envelope 2 is also setting LFO1 with these settings. So the LFO1 is set for both filters, and as you can see, it takes longer to start the wave as this attack is set. Okay, so let's render this too, like I did before, and we can then create variations or automations or stuff like that, but I want to have this in audio. Bass is now in audio, and now I'm going to save the patch, so whatever I do, I can always come back. Okay, let's try something. Okay, so I'm going to export this and then we can work with the bass. Let's go. The bass 1 here, the bass 2 here, and I have doubled each one. Why? Very simple. On the first one, I'm going to cut everything after 100 Hz. So in the spectrum, you can see that it only remains this part. On the second one, I'll do the opposite, so low cut. So before 100 Hz, everything is cut out. So I will only remain with the rest of the spectrum. So I can now balance those two signals separately. So I can now apply different effects to both parts of the sound. So quad distortion mid sides, you can distort only the sides. And B filter. And the same for the other bass that I created. So it's this one. So again, low pass for one, high pass for the other, and then you control both parts of the spectrum separately with full control. Okay, I have a mistake here. This bass is going to bus 3. That is mono, so I have to set it to stereo, otherwise this balance won't work. As I told you, we can now set different effects for these two. So I can now have a different bass by just inserting that effect in the low end. So by having one effect in the chain, and this is a very old effect, VST effect. We change the track. This is the high part, and this is the sub bass. Okay, so I have no second effect, so I'm going to use this bus as the full bus. So, bass bus 8. All final bass is always here. But now signal is much more coherent. And we can do whatever. Now I want to work here, and I will generate a reverb very long to create an effect before the drums. So this is the effect, 100% mix. So this is the effect I want. I have exported it already. So I have it here, and I also did before that export it with the Logic Platinum Reverb, but I did not like the tone and the level. It became very some kind of weak. So I used it in the first part. Remember that these notes are always the same, but the sound is different. And I did add some volume automation, so I do not want the reverb in the beginning, but I want it loud in the end, just like in here. So let's hear before these are added, and then we listen with them. Okay, so but okay, much better now. So nice effect with reverb. Oh. Okay, so small fade out just before that. Okay, I have this track here that I have not talked about it. It is the as before on a pad, and it is inserted with a noise gate sidechain to bus 1, the drums. So it only plays when the drums play and they follow the drums volume. So the kick is much louder as the snare, so they push more the sound of the pad than, for instance, the cymbals. Okay, then I had this Spitfire delay that has a small offset in the right delay in relationship to the left. So each repetition, the right repetitions are 1.44% after the left delay. So each delay they are going away, let's say. Here it's this. As it came. And I added reverb. And in the beginning, I did cut that small note there before the drums. So I had the reverb only. Oops. And for the first time, you are able to listen to these sounds here because before there was no drums to play it. Then we have this lead Lusus synthesizer. And what I did is first I did export the original sound is here. And then I did add these two plugins, Glitch and Replicant. Replicant is more or less the same as Glitch, but in a different way. Okay, so this is unpredictable effects. You don't always know what they are doing. So the best way to work is to export several times and then work with the wave files. What I did is I used it like I did in this ambient before, and I did mix it here. This is original, now it changes. Here and back to the original in this note. And then I did take this to the beginning and I did add some automation with delays. Let's see this better. So alone first, and we got this. Okay, again with everything. Okay, now something different. We are going to create something from the scratch. So with 10 seconds. Not here, but on. Okay, let's lower. Okay, there we have saw wave. So first copy this as it is now, and then we are going to do something here. Let's try the pitch. Okay. Now we copy it again because I did a mistake. Now we do a copy. And then we do undo. And now we do something mix. Okay, so now we can work with this. I'm going to copy again. No, I'm going to change something with vibrato. Not this one. So here it is. We do the same. Copy this. So by the menus, copy this, undo, and mix with this selected. From nothing, now we have something. Let's save it. From that sample, I use the XS24 sampler, and I use the naming that allows the sampler to automatically recognize the pitch. So then it's a question of programming. So I chose filter, low pass filter, cut off in the middle, more or less like resonance, but modulated by envelope 1 and LFO 3 via LFO 3. And I'm using unison, so it is detuning several of that wave, several waves, and it is detuning this amount. Basically, it is doing something like this. Very basic sound. Okay, so filters that open late. Then I added space delay. Very small delay with small amount of detuning by LFO. Then SSS. Without delay. With. Then I added phaser filter. Then assigned to chorus. Flanger. And then reverb. Reverb on. Reverb, but it sounds good. Here, I did a cut before the drums. Imprints a nice relaxing tone. This enters, this leaves until here. This is outside the place, but it is a happy mistake. It sounds good in here, so I left it. I did insert here a vocal track that I recorded with MC Trash some years ago from one of my tracks. Let's hear it first. I'm going to show what I have done. Okay, first I have here two synths, two different delays. One is long, one is short. I'm going to leave that and I'm going to show you the plugins I have used.
Might find no apparent explanation. You sure you understand, but you're lost in translation. You're out of orbit, there's no communication. Taste this incredible vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension? Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight. Have a nice flight, delight. But don't forget, must be aware. Slowly and softly turn back to reality. Don't depress, this is not the end. You can do the tour again. Restart, have a brand new beginning. Beginning. Not the end, you can do the tour again. Restart, have a brand new beginning.
So the long delay there, short delay here.
The waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension? Doctor, speak up.
Okay, now I want to work here in this part. I want to leave this echo going down and I want to create a new echo from this doctor words coming in. So let's hear first. And now this one.
Doctor, speak up, blow up.
Okay, I'm going to send this to my audio editor.
Doctor.
First you hear breathing.
Doctor.
And you hear here a click.
Doctor.
Speaker here, I do not want this part. First, I really recommend when you have a recording mainly for voices that you clean it up first. Here, noise here. Breathing. So I'm going to be fast. I'm going to...
Doctor.
Here is good, there is bad. Marker. And I will simply clean that up.
Doctor.
So this is the speaker words. Always find the zero crossing point, and and I can do a mute directly here. To clean this perfectly, fade out there.
Doctor. Doctor.
Maybe not that one, maybe this one.
Doctor. Doctor.
So why am I
Doctor.
doing this? Saving into this voice 2 file. Okay, very simple.
Through the ways of drum and bass.
It's this same place that I did here. Let's import it again. So same voice but clean. Now I could do this in the audio editor, but I want to show you everything. Okay, I'm going to reverse
Doctor.
this one, and I will leave it this way. Let's work first in this track here. Okay, very crazy working in reverse. I'm going to export this new file, and now we reverse it again. Mute that one. This is doctor, that's where the words doctor should be. So let's hear what I have just done. We want to listen to
Doctor, speak up, mention. Doctor, speak up, mention. Doctor, speak up, mention. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension? Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight. Have a nice flight, delight. But don't forget, must be aware. Slowly and softly turn back to reality. Don't depress, this is not the end. Dimension. Doctor, speak up, blow up, dimension. Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy.
There's a small click there, but we'll work it out later.
Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor.
Always nice to create variations.
Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight. Have a nice flight, delight. But don't forget,
I created a send to a reverb, but I made it pre-fader, so it's independent of the volume of the track. What I did is, first there's only reverb, and when the vocal finishes, the volume is complete.
forget, must be aware. You can do the tour again, restart, have a brand new beginning.
Maybe it could be better.
Not the end, you can do the tour again, restart, have a brand new beginning.
Or maybe not completely cut out.
Must be aware, slowly and softly turn back to reality. Don't depress, this is not the end. You can do the tour again, restart, have a brand new beginning.
And here Remember this happy mistake where this was out of its place but it sounds good? I did a small change in the last notes to correct the positioning. But maybe I'll remove. I don't know, maybe I will get this out. I don't know, you always try to find solutions and you stick to the better one. Okay, let's go and do something different again. So by the menu, now we are going to white noise for 10 seconds. Let me make that 15. And we are going to use it. So this is not going to sound very fun in the beginning. White noise here, why? We can always filter that. You get the idea. We can, after this, we can even use B-filter on this one. So let's use. But this should be maybe not here, maybe here somewhere. I should have made that longer.
Might find no apparent explanation. You sure
You get the idea. So you can always get creative with new sounds or sounds that don't look very promising. Fade in.
might find no apparent explanation. You sure you understand, but you're lost.
And you can always try new stuff, particularly with sidechain.
Might find no apparent explanation. Might find no apparent explanation.
Okay, I have here the drum loop. I'm using recycle to process. Okay. And recycle converts. So this will recognize everything I did. Basically, I have the same drum loop as here. I like to work with colors. You have noticed that. I always use the same scheme, so I always know the sounds I'm looking for, or at least if I don't know, if I'm looking for an ambient yellow, I just look here. I won't look anywhere else, so very fast way to work. So here's our drum loop. I can now process this loop, change and reorder. This is some kind of old school. So I can join two and cut this and duplicate this, for instance. Now I will duplicate all this. Okay, so I did some work in the loop. This is what we had. And then I did some changes. You can see, always in the end. I added a snare just before the start. Or without. Unexpected. So then I have removed this top bass on the start of the voice, and honestly I don't like this. This collides with the voice, so I'm going to remove what I've done and I'm going to send it there.
Brand new beginning.
It fills the space of the missing voice. Okay. I have done here a small fade out in the bass line, and you remember I had a click here. When I have this in MIDI, the click doesn't appear.
Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor, your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight.
Much better now. And I have this replicant plugin in the drum loop.
You're out of orbit, there's no communication. Taste this incredible vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension?
And use it in the master channel. You can always do crazy stuff in the master channel. So the problem of these effects is that they are too unexpected, and maybe you like something and you cannot repeat it. So the better stuff is to render, to export the audio and then import it and use the beats that you like. Okay, then I added some effects here. So let's start by the end. It's a Hoover file. I started with some automation in the low cut filter, because without it, too much low end. But here in this part, the voice is starting, so I wanted to really cut the sound. And in the end, I didn't do any cut. Okay, let's hear this.
Might find no apparent explanation. You should have a brand new beginning.
So clean that one. Then I have this reactor theremin sample that I used some years ago and exported tons of loops. Flanger. Spitfire delay. Send to flanger and reverb. Goes on after the end of the file. Flanger, this one. Reverb is this waves one. Okay. Then this Invictus 8 reactor synthesizer I use, built by myself. Edit this delay without, and edit send to delay and phaser. Stereo delay, insert, and delay on delay, but it sounds good. So it's a mess in the end. So it is doing here, it's in the end.
No communication. Taste this incredible vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Must be aware, slowly and soft vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it apparel?
Okay, muting these ones, they are inserting too much delay. Flying here, flask. It's this without nothing. And sonic transformer with automation, so you never know what is coming out of there, and reverb. This is a longer reverb, old one, and this sound is working well. And here in the end there's a fight. We are listening without the lead. Okay, I have a problem here I want to solve. Here, I want to change these parts. They are the same notes. And crossfade this. So there's a delay that was missing there. Okay, but I needed something to complement the sampler pad, so I used the same sequence, and I'm using Lusus with this pad to join to this. I did export the sound there, so I don't need the original synthesizer. I did export without any kind of processing, so I can do anything now. Sometimes I do some processing and I do not export it, and then I replicate it in audio, so I have the dry sound always. And sometimes I do export it with processing, and I can do stuff with it later. Now I need to cut low end here, so I did this. From the beginning. Okay, leaving some space here. Okay. This is a session that I use for a long time, the template. It sends sounds to buses, so wherever you leave one sound, it goes to bus something. Okay, and you can see it. Let me just loop all this to to go to the right and see everything. Little bit more. Okay, drums to master channel. Everything is here.
You sure you understand? But translation.
Bass is here. All the basses go to here.
Incredible vibration. Ways of
Effects.
Imagination. A parallel dimension. Blow up, doctor. Your guide. Inside. Have a nice flight. Delight. But don't forget. Slowly and softly turn back to reality. Press, this is not the end. You can do the tour again. Restart, have a brand.
Okay, but there's too much low end in the ambient, in the pads. I want little as possible wideness in here, and I want wideness there.
Incredible vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension? Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight. Have a nice flight, delight. But don't forget, must be aware. Slowly and softly turn back to reality. Don't depress, this is not the end. You can do the tour again. Restart, have a brand new beginning.
And we can now just use a limiter. Oh. And if we want to export to 16 bits, we use dithering. You can see now the track is much louder.
But you're lost in translation. You're out of orbit, there's no communication. Taste this incredible vibration through the waves of drum and bass. Imagination, or is it a parallel dimension? Doctor, speak up, blow up, doctor. Your guide inside the ride, enjoy the sight. Have a nice flight, delight. But don't forget, must be aware. Slowly and softly turn back to reality. Don't depress, this is not the end. You can do the tour again. Restart, have a brand new beginning.
I always recommend you to do very little in the master channel, and if you want to do a right job, you should hire somebody to master your tracks, somebody who has experience and knows what is doing. This was just to show you something, but it is too fast to be able to do a proper job like this. You also should use headphones at some point to check everything with them and to test on every sound system you can, from your TV to your car, from your hi-fi to your phone, everything. Tests on several systems and see what you can improve. Okay, just a final touch here. The drums, probably that's the part where I did less work. It was not on purpose. I'm using a small reverb here for the whole loop, not a bright idea, but it was just to have some beats rolling. And in a next chapter, I will work more detailed on drums. So this was completely basic. I admit that, and maybe unacceptable, but I had to do other stuff. I didn't show exactly everything because when I was, for instance, when I was trying for this Lusus sounds to add, I was something like 20 minutes waiting, searching for the best pads and the best settings. So you didn't see that, but you did see the patch and the result. And again, save your presets. You can use them later on other tracks, on other projects. And it's never a bad idea to save as while you are working and do several versions, try several ideas. If they don't work, you can always come back and have both projects saved. Backup all your files, sampler files, synth presets, whatever. Save everything so you don't lose or waste time tomorrow trying to replicate those settings. This is an old software. This is my PC, my old PC. I use Mac, and I use this software since, I don't know, 98, Logic 4.8 at the time. The screen software recording is cutting me some shortcuts that I cannot use. But I hope you had a good time and you learned some ideas, some tricks, some suggestions. And that's it. So see you next time.